food is good, right, bro?
Oh, it's good, but it's nothing like my mother's ham biscuit brickle-brackle and beans with fizzy wiggets. They used to make roasted ham squash with spittle spattle and a side of biscuit gravy. And we'd have that every
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, November 22nd, 2024. This is The Drop. I'm JD Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo!
Heyo! And over yonder, today's super producer, it's Eshua Kid.
How y'all doing?
What's up, Esh? No Tas and JD today. They're flying back from Washington, D.C. I believe they're flying southwest. Good luck to the gentlemen. The two of them, though, had a chance to attend the White House yesterday to celebrate the Celtics title, and there's a photo for everybody on YouTube. Looking sharp, the boys are out on the lawn. I guess it was a brief Celtics title celebration at the White House, but I can't wait to hear from them come Monday.
Brief celebration and apparently a chilly day, by all reports.
Yeah, it was cold here in Atlanta, so I can imagine how cold it was up there in Washington, D.C. I did see that Biden noted that his Secret Service code name was Celtic because of his Irish roots.
Okay.
And Mike Zarin tweeted, the basketball stats community has come a long way. The president of the United States is talking about points per possession. So he was getting into the stats there when he was celebrating the Celtics title.
He almost said that the Bulls were the champions, but then he checked and made sure that it was the Boston Celtics. Was he doing a bit? I don't know.
I doubt it.
But it was a nice moment for us Bulls fans to almost get number 7. It's actually number 18 for the Celtics, though. But cool for these guys to get to go and see that. Freeze. Tim Bontemps was there. I hear Zach Lowe was there. Jared Weiss.
Wow. We said only the best. We said only the best to the White House.
The hangs were probably sweet.
All right. So again, we'll hear from Tas and JD and that experience on Monday's podcast. But we've got some fun here on The Drop. We obviously have rapid fire fun at the end. We're going to do a little 1 month in sort of questions for you, TK, like surprises and underrated storylines and a few of the awards. We're going to do an all-rookie team after 1 month. But we had some action last night. Not a lot of games on, but some close games. And we got to start at least talking a little bit about the Magic's Franz Wagner sinking the Lakers with a huge fourth quarter and the game-winning 3. Now, Franz and the Magic, they were helped out by some missed free throws from the Lakers down the stretch. Everybody was missing them, especially Anthony Davis, but Franz Wagner continuing this hot streak, TK, stepping up as the lead guy offensively for Orlando with no Paolo. And man, like that was a bit of a star-making performance there last night in La La Land.
So I guess the Magic are just going to have an all-NBA forward no matter who's playing.
I think so.
Because Paolo was dominating through the first week and a half of the season, couple of weeks before he went down with injury. Little rough patch for the Magic immediately after that, but they've steadied themselves, had that nice win streak, took a loss, and then an awesome bounce-back game against the Lakers. Franz is playing at the very least at an all-star level right now.
Sure.
All NBA, I would say. He's such a complete player, man. Like, he scores inside pretty easily. He's got great size, good body control, but his floaters were nice last night. He was scoring off cuts, wide open catch-and-shoot threes, and then knocking down threes off the dribble as well. Super impressive. 37 points, 11 assists. I saw John Hollinger said, that they call him Boogie.
Yeah.
Unusual nickname for a guy named Franz Wagner. I don't know why. it doesn't fit for me. Yeah. But also, Hollinger said it was the first 35-point, 10-assist outing by a Magic player in more than 20 years.
So
Penny?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Well,
right?
I mean, 20 years would be 2005. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I guess maybe Tracy McGrady. He could have done it as well.
He had to have,
nonetheless, awesome game for Franz. He put the team on his back. And what do free throws do? They win games. The Lakers missed 4 of their last 6 free throws in the last 40 seconds of this game after being up 116 to 114. But those are the big numbers to me. 116, 114, a high-scoring game here. The Lakers gave up 119 points to the Orlando Magic, who are the 25th ranked offense in the league. It's the second most points the Magic have scored all season. I think I did the stats right on NBA.com/stats. I think 85% of the Magic's offense was like early offense, getting shots up before there are 7 seconds left on the shot clock. They were racing up and down the floor. The Lakers were looking slow. They were looking old, inattentive to detail. Orlando also had 43 makes on the night. 31 of those were assisted. 13 of their 15 threes were assisted. The only 2 that weren't were the game winner, and Franz had another one, like probably 3 or 4 minutes earlier off the dribble. The Magic looked completely connected in this game on both ends of the court, and the Lakers, I think the Lakers maybe thought we can win this game with our offense late. They had the lead, knocked down some free throws, you get the win, but the Magic were able to seize the opportunity, and Franz had a big-time shot.
Yeah, the Lakers have a weird season going, right? Like, they have a good record. They're 10-5. Obviously, AD playing at an MVP-like level. LeBron's still LeBron. Dalton Connect, one of the best rookies. You know, Reeves contributing and all that. But then you look at the numbers, and you're like, they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. I think they're like 24th or 25th, and that speaks to what you were saying there about like a Magic team who doesn't score all that much, like putting up big numbers, is their concern here. I guess JJ Redick not happy about the missed free throws, probably not about the defense. Gotta lock in a little bit more here. And I know they've had a bit of a easy part of their schedule, which helped them rack up that sort of win streak, but awesome game. Again, I don't want to gloss over Franz Wagner, what he's doing without Paolo. When he went down with that oblique injury, Wagner averaging 25.4 points per game, 6 boards, 6 assists plus. That's great as that playmaker. And they're 7-5 in those 12 games. Like you said, started slowly on that road trip right when Paolo went out, but they're keeping their head above water, especially in the Eastern Conference. I mean, to have a winning record during the time where your all-star, your all-NBA-ish guy is out in Paolo is amazing. But it's cool to see the guy that got, there were people that were questioning the max contract to Franz. Like, what? Oh, really? Like, what has he really done? But he's shutting them up. He's at least seeing what we've seen in international ball. If you're one of those sickos, you see this Franz Wagner for Team Germany at times. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty cool that he's like raised his game. Now it'll be fun, or hopefully when Paolo comes back, there has to be a little bit more synergy that between the two, to take over. He can do this, and Paolo can maybe have a little more confidence in him to do it. So good win. Their identity is always going to be defense, and that's great, and then hopefully get enough offense from these guys. But, man, they're trailing by 2, and Franz got the ball at the top of the key. He had Anthony Davis on him. He got the easy switch where Cam Reddish took him, and then he sort of rocked Reddish with his dribble. I think he was looking to maybe drive, but Reddish sort of playing off, and then he did that little step back, like deep 3 from Franz to splash that, and then I guess AD had a chance at the
tough shot.
Yeah, tough shot. Good
Jonathan
defense.
Isaac was all over.
Yeah, he's fading away. He was pretty deep, and he airballed it, and that was game. But what a game.
Yeah, Franz basically said, I wanted to drive, but they were set up nicely. I was going to drive. Instead, I saw it was Cam Reddish, and I was taller than him, so I just shot it over him. Yeah, that was the problem for the Lakers. They had nobody to guard Franz. It would be LeBron if this was 2012, but he ain't going to do that for 4 quarters. And on that last play, the last Franz three-pointer, Anthony Davis has to stick with him. I would much rather see Jalen Suggs take the three-pointer, even if they decide to double, like him and Cam Reddish at the top of the key. The switch was way too easy.
Yeah, and it's not like at this point in the game that Franz is like struggling.
Totally.
It's like the guy's cooking. Like, he can't miss right now, like especially in the fourth quarter where he took over. I'm with you. It was just like it's too easy to give Cam up onto him. But Franz hits it, and look, the other Wagner brother had a good game as well. Mo chipping in. I don't know what Mo's nickname is.
Flo.
Oh, Flo and Boogie.
He's got his hair a little longer.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Flo Wagner.
So good win.
Pataze.
Really?
Boogie Wagner. I don't know. Voogie maybe is how they pronounce it.
I think it is his is it his social media?
Is it
account handle? I think it.
Maybe he's a great dancer.
Ooh.
He looks a little stiff in the hips to me, but I don't know.
I don't really think of Germans as great dancers. Maybe I'm wrong. So that was the best game probably last night.
Sweet.
It was the late game. But some other ones. Any other takeaways from last night's action?
People were looking pretty sideways at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Skeetsy, you saw the clips going around on social media last night. The Timberwolves lost to the Raptors because that's just what happens in Toronto. They haven't won in 20 years in Toronto.
Unbelievable, that stat.
Look, the Timberwolves had some down seasons in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So did the Raptors.
Yes. I was there for a lot of them, man.
Unbelievable stuff. But with about 5 minutes left, Rudy Gobert seals Scotty Barnes underneath the hoop, like literally underneath the hoop, backing him up. Julius Randle sees him and said, nah, I'm good. You're too open. So Rudy doesn't like that. He slowly walks his way out of the lane. 3 seconds. What a 3-second call.
Yeah.
Was weird. Obviously...
and Ant
Gobert was frustrated.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards was very frustrated. Then Gobert fouls Scotty Barnes on the next play, just knocks him over because Scotty was kind of like getting under his skin, I thought, a little bit there. The Raptors then kind of seized the opportunity with the Timberwolves feeling a little wonky. They just ran up and down the court for the next 2.5 minutes. It was fast break after fast break after fast break. Last couple of seconds of the game, Julius Randle has another drive, sees Gobert underneath the hoop, chucks it as hard as he can, and it, of course, goes off Gobert's hands. So like, I was like,
gunned that, man.
He chucked it. He also had a nice assist to Gobert in the last 5 minutes as well, but it was basically a -5 for the Timberwolves in the 5 minutes after that 3-second call. It looked like they just kind of lost their mind. I've told you about the pair of pants in the dryer.
Yeah.
And it is just like that, because I think Gobert's hard to play with, man. Nobody gets it the first year playing with Gobert. It takes a little bit. That's why you see, like, Naz Reid's like, whatever, you're open, I'll throw you a lob from the outside. Edwards has figured it out. It was bringing in Mike Conley saying, just throw it up sometimes.
Yeah.
Randall's tough to play with, too, because he wants to pound the ball. He wants to be the one making the decision. So there are going to be these kind of moments when they're not on the same page, but it looks bad when they're not on the same page. But also, I thought, nice win for the Raptors. They'll be able to pull that one out.
Absolutely. RJ Barrett, I mean, this guy cooks when he's at home, especially. He's having an incredible season. Scotty Barnes returned from his injury, had the goggles on there. An interesting look, I thought, for him. Yeah, the red looking like Sally Jesse Raphael there with the red Oakleys.
Big Quinn Snyder fan.
And yeah, everybody contributing. They played hard, and they just take care of business when the Minnesota Timberwolves come north of the border. Trey said it. They've won their last 20 games against the Wolves in Canada. You got to go back to January 21st, 2004. Before we were doing this podcast.
That's ridiculous, man.
It's nuts. In that game, it was Sam Cassell, Kevin Garnett, and Latrell Sprewell as the 3 leading scorers when they actually won in Canada. Do you want to name any of the other people on the Wolves roster in their last victory?
So you said Garnett, Sprewell,
and Sam Cassell. Can you give me the other 2 starters at least? Or
Wally World?
No, not Wally World. Not Wally World.
2004, Rasho Nesterovic.
No, these are good guesses.
Come on.
These are good guesses. I'm going to give you some hints here. The center has a famous name with one of the greatest players of all time.
No way, Irvin Johnson?
Irvin Johnson.
He was still around in 04. I didn't know that.
He started, and then the other forward, I guess we can call it. No, I guess he's a shooting guard, small forward. I'll give you the other teams he played for. He played for your Bulls back in 2002.
Trenton Hassel?
Trenton Hassel. Nice job.
Great hint.
The other players off the bench, another former Bulls.
Fred Hoiberg?
Here you go, the mayor himself. Okay, this guy, a 2-time champion with the Lakers.
Mark Madsen?
Correct. And 3 more. 2 former Raptors players.
But not Rasho Nesterovic.
No. Big dudes. And when I mean big, I mean
Beef Boys.
Yeah, man. Especially the one.
Oliver Miller?
There you go. He played.
He was there in 04?
He played 6 minutes off the bench.
93 finals against the Bulls.
And then this guy has a son in the league. Stronger guy, not big. Like
Gary
Trent.
Nice.
One more. What could I tell you about this guy? He had cool hair. I remember that. He was called. His nickname was the Laker Killer. He played for the Jazz, the Clips, the Magic, the Wolves, of course, where he had his longest stint, and he played for the Warriors.
Is his first name Troy?
Yeah.
Hudson?
Look at this guy!
I was thinking Troy Daniels. That's a different guy.
Good job. That was pretty impressive.
Man, I was in my bag in 04. Guess that's why I'm not a doctor. I was in college then.
You were focused too much on Troy Hudson.
Yeah, exactly. I was memorizing the rosters, thinking I was going to med school. It turns out I was going to become a podcaster.
Yeah, you watched this game and you were like, the Wolves will never lose in Canada. Lock it in. They dominate up there. We got to point out, too, the court that the Raptors played on last night. This was the Vince Carter Dino tribute court. My God. I know I'm biased, but TK, tell me I'm wrong. This is a gorgeous looking court.
That's a beautiful court you got there.
The purple, and again, the logo there of the Dino doing the Vince dunk from the 2000 dunk contest, which is really, really crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, but straight up a dinosaur wearing a jersey doing a dunk. And everybody's like, this is sick, man.
But it also,
cool.
It pops, man. Those colors look so good. And I think a big part of this, that darker stain on the floor that's a nostalgic thing. That's like an older Raptors court thing, but I think it just works, man. It's like I'm in the Sky Dome there looking at that.
Yeah, I'm sure the nostalgia is a big factor because I hate a caramel court personally, but I do agree. This looks good.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a negative, though, right? Because the unpainted lane is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's
the
true.
unpainted area.
So,
but I like this. The Spurs have a cool court right now. The Timberwolves played games on their icy court. That looks sweet.
Cracked ice.
I wonder if they'll do that for the NBA Cup eventually. Like your jerseys, like your city jerseys, match your court for these, because they're gonna. There's not that many ideas, Lesky. They did lines, they did circles. We got triangles left, but other than that, I don't know what shapes we got.
Right. So you're saying implement these special courts or these city courts or whatever. Yeah,
because they look cool.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's hey, look, like I said, I can't believe at least in the semifinals and finals of the in-season tournament of the NBA Cup that we don't use the LED court.
Yep.
I'm perplexed by that. And if we did, then we could be like, okay, just put in whoever court you want. Whoever's got like home court advantage in that game if you want. The other really entertaining game last night was the Hornets beating the Pistons in overtime by 2. Brandon Miller, monster game, scored 8 of his career-high 38 points in the overtime period. This was one of those very rare, entertaining overtimes. A lot of NBA games, they go to overtime. A lot of times they suck.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, yes, 5 more minutes of basketball. It's not usually the prettiest basketball. It's like, you see a lot of like 6-2 scores. It's just like, they're tired. I'm sure that's a part of it. But this was not that. This was really entertaining. Good shot making, good scoring here. But Miller, 8 of 12 from deep. 2 of those coming in overtime.
Big ones.
And LaMelo Ball had a great, regulation part of this game. He had 35 points, 9 assists. He fouled out 1 second into overtime. Really dumb foul on his part, but it was a bad pass on the inbounds, and he was trying to prevent a turnover and tried to grab the guy. But man, my favorite highlight from this game, I don't know if you saw it, Brandon Miller's steal in overtime. Oh my God. It's a highlight steal. The Pistons, the Pistons are going in transition, and it was off of the turnover, and I forget who it was. They were trying to throw a lob to the Piston on the backside, and Brandon Miller just went up. He knew it was coming, I think, timed it perfectly, just went up and snatched it LaFonso Ellis style and just grabbed it with one arm and completely took away the bucket. It was actually a big play in the overtime too. Yeah. I mean, it was a big swing, I should say. So great game from this guy, as he's one of our favorites, I would say. You love Brandon Miller, and for being 20 years old, only in his second year, his best game of his pro career.
Yeah, that was good from Brandon Miller. 15 points he scored between the fourth quarter and overtime, and the 2 threes he hit were like guys draped all over him from deep. These were impressive shots that he hit. LaMelo got benched on Tuesday against the Nets. Came back with 35, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, only 2 turnovers. He did foul out, like you're saying, for overtime, but that's when Miller went crazy. LaMelo was the guy in the third quarter for the Hornets when they really built a huge lead. He scored 13. His 11, 12, 13th point was a 3-pointer where he was trying to draw a foul, and it somehow went in. Regardless, Eric Collins yells, the greatest shot. Put the Hornets up 20, and they blew the lead in 15 minutes. They could not buy a basket. They were playing zero defense, and any time they were close to basically Isaiah Stewart, they fouled him, and it was an and one every single time. But then Brandon Miller had enough for them in overtime. Fun game for sure.
Yeah, the Pistons unfortunately lost Cade Cunningham for overtime as well. He had a decent game, 27 and 10, but with 48 seconds left, he drove to the rim and got hit by Grant Williams. It was a foul. It was nothing malicious, but Cade he landed on his ass, on his hip bone or whatever, and so he hit his free throws, and then he left the game. So he didn't play in overtime as well. Just a note about Brandon Miller. As great as he's been, as great as we think he will be, Kelly Dwyer pointed out in his newsletter this morning that for a high-scoring 20-year-old, 6'9" guy, he should probably get to the free throw line a lot more. I couldn't believe this. In this game, he didn't go to the free throw line once. He played 42 minutes when you consider the overtime. That's a little crazy.
Yep.
He's only had 3 and 1s in 11 games this season. And in fact, Brandon Miller's 18 for 19 at the free throw line. He's played over 350 minutes. That is crazy for an athletic young dude.
The number 2 option on the team. He has the ball a lot.
That's just wild to me. I had to fact check my guy KD. I was like, I trust Dwyer. This guy he's more of a sicko than we are, but I was like, that can't be right. But it is. So that will be something you want Brandon Miller to obviously work on. Indeed. I mean, playing through contact and getting to the line. I don't know if it's a bad whistle. It's probably, I think it's more just sort of his game, and he doesn't maybe initiate that and really trust going in there right now and sort of bullying guys because he is a bit of a slight guy. But something to watch. Anything else? I guess the only other game was I thought the Jazz played awesome in the first half, and then the Spurs sort of kicked ass in the second half.
I don't know how the Spurs won easily in this one. That was the crazy thing to me, but I was most impressed with Bryce Sensabaugh. 18 points in 22 minutes.
Yes.
Thick guard. Good stuff.
Did you see the highest dunk score from last night?
I did, man. I did. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Charles Bassey got credit for the highest dunk score last night. Okay, it was a baseline dunk. It was on Sexton, right? I think so, It was on Sexton, no doubt. But it wasn't the cleanest dunk, it got like nearly 100 in the dunk score.
He rattled it home. I thought.
How?
I don't know, man. He did have a big bump with Sexton, right? Like they made solid body contact with each other, and I think that maybe factors too high in this.
I think so. We need to tweak it maybe or something. I don't know. But anyway, congrats to Charles Bassey.
This dude's hooping. I've been impressed with Charles Bassey. I've seen him have 2 great games in the past week. He had 11 points in 27 minutes last night. They called him the Bass Man. Said he's going bass fishing at one point when he caught an alley-oop. Cool.
All right.
There's Bass in there. He's ripping lips, so I like him now.
Spurs, I believe, are 500 now. And they're winning games here without Wembanyama.
No Wemby, yeah.
Yes, it is impressive. So good stuff from them. All right, let's get into a little news. Unfortunately, Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic will miss time due to a right wrist sprain. The team announced this yesterday. He is expected to be reevaluated in 1 week. So, he's gonna miss a few games, and then you reevaluate him. Maybe could miss some more. Sort of sucks for us here in Atlanta. I know Esh said he was gonna go down to the Fortress on Monday night to catch Luka and the Mavs, but there will be no Luka. So I don't know if you have much to add to this.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's ducking Trey Young.
It's crazy he's ducking the team that he scored 73 points against.
It's crazy he doesn't want another opportunity in a high-scoring game. Yeah. But I actually think this is, in a roundabout way, this is good for the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like I'm going Tas Mellis mode here, telling you how an injury is actually good.
Oh, God, yeah.
But here's why.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving is playing incredible basketball right now. The guy is like a 50% shooter from 2 and 3. He's been really good.
Yep.
So I think he can carry a little bit here. But you look at the schedule. They've got at Denver, at Miami, at Atlanta. I think they can win 2 of those 3, even without Luka playing.
Okay.
If it extends a little bit more, the Mavericks play the Knicks at home, following that up with on the road against Utah, on the road against Portland. So the schedule...
It's not the craziest schedule, yeah.
Bearable, I would say. And Luka needs some rest right now. Ash and I were just out in Golden State seeing the Mavs game. Luka was in treatment before the game because he's got this calf bruise. He's got knee problems.
Yeah, he had the right knee bruise that he missed a game.
He was bleeding through his leg sleeves and stuff. The dude was in treatment for probably an hour just before the game, getting ready to play. So not the worst thing right now to sit him down for at least a week when you can probably survive against this schedule, at least play 500 basketball.
Yep.
I would have to think. And then, after a week, we see how the team's doing. We see how Luka's doing. Get his body right for the rest of the season. Is 2 weeks in November and December really going to matter in the long term? I don't know, but he's looking slow to start the year. Luka's not playing his best basketball. He's still putting up 28, 8, and 8, but the percentages aren't great. It looks like he's working his way into shape. So I think this can actually play out okay for Dallas, assuming they get some wins here against the easier teams on the schedule.
Yeah, easier teams, but a lot of these road games for sure. So we'll see how they do away from Dallas. But speaking of knees, I guess, or bone bruises, Paul George, nothing serious, they're saying. He's going to miss a few games after he had to leave the game against the Grizzlies the other night. That was the update from them. Going to miss at least the next 2 games, I think is what they said. Shams coming through with some more news on this proposed All-Star game format. He said the NBA's new 4-team tournament-style format for the 25 All-Star game is expected to have 2 semifinal games, which we knew, played to 40 points, with the winners advancing to the final matchup to play to 25 points. The event, and I'm basically quoting Shams here, the event is expected to serve as a quick burst competition that resembles pickup games. What do you think here, TK? Either of the low-scoring sort of games here, do you think this could work? Do you have concerns about this? Where are you checking out on this?
I had a legit LOL when I read that they want this to resemble pickup games.
Yeah.
It's like you're making the All-Star game into a pickup game. Quick burst competition. The other thing I thought was that the way it's broken down with the two 40-point games followed by the 25-point game, that means 16 players can go out in the first games, and if they slack enough, they don't have to play in another game.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. Why not try it? Last year was bad. Yeah. That's the other thing. It's like, why not try something different? But yeah.
But you don't sound convinced that this will fix the competitive
not
issues.
Necessarily.
Ziller in his newsletter this morning had some fair concerns, I thought. A lot I agreed with. Here, I'll go through a few. Ziller's first thing was, this format might be confusing to the casual fan. Not to sickos like us, not to people watching or listening to this podcast probably. We'll talk about it a million times before we play this damn tournament. But to the casual fan, it's maybe a little confusing as to like, what? Why are these the teams and who's that and what are they playing to? Okay. Ziller says the championship game could be anticlimactic if it goes quick. Yeah. And in fact, I went and checked.
25 points is quick.
So I tweeted this yesterday. People may have thought I was kidding, but I wasn't. I was like, okay, the first games are to 40. How long did it take to get to 40 points in last year's All-Star game? It took 8 minutes for one team to get to 40 points. So it's something I do like to imagine this is just over in the blink of an eye. And maybe that's the galaxy brain thinking from Silver. He's like, well, look, we can't fix this damn thing, but we got to have something. So let's just make it as quick as possible.
It's not bad.
I mean,
30 minutes. We got a half hour All-Star game. Yeah.
In and out. Okay, this from Ziller. The best rookies and sophomores could be pushed by their teams to skip the rising stars if there's a chance they could play in 4 shortened games over the course of the weekend. There's an element to this, like, we're giving the All-Stars, in theory, less minutes and concern to worry about, but not the rising stars competitors. Like, if we're still doing that on Friday night. And by the way, for those that don't know, this whole mini tournament, we've done this for the last 2 years in the Rising Stars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember a single person saying a damn thing about it. So,
hey, man, that's where Matas Buzelis made his name.
Yeah.
Big game winner.
Okay, great question from Ziller. Are we still going to have G League players in the Rising Stars little tournament? If so, there's a possibility the G League All-Stars could be playing for the All-Star Game Tournament Edition Championship.
Cinderella story. I love it, actually. This is getting crazier. Yeah.
I know. I actually hadn't thought about that. I was like, yeah, are we still doing that with the G League team?
I'll just pitch this out there. Bronny James, All-Star MVP.
Well, there you go. Bronny versus LeBron. Maybe this is the whole setup. This is the setup for it. There we go.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rooting for now.
And then the biggest concern from Ziller, we sort of talked about it. There is still nothing in this proposal to actually incentivize competition. That's up to the players, or we haven't found that thing that will actually incentivize them. Okay. Still, the greatest thing I've heard when it comes to like, hey, you want them to be competitive, you want stakes in the game, is the whole idea of like, the winning team gets the week off after the All-Star break, and the losing team, the losing conference, has to go back to work. And they don't get to take and they don't get to take their trips to Cancun. I mean, I'm telling you that would work.
Yeah.
I'm very confident in that working to incentivize them to play hard at least. But
you might be right, because honestly, that's probably the reason that the game is not entertaining at this point. The players get 1 week off in the middle of the season. It's this week. And we're saying, no, go play out there. Go play hard against all the best players.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
No, they're like, no, I don't want to.
I would like to get a tan.
Yeah. I mean, don't a lot of these guys, like, they literally jump on a plane right after this game to go wherever they're going to go.
Well, think about how many times we've been at All-Star Media Day and we're just, like, sitting there waiting for LeBron or Kobe. Those are the only two we were ever waiting for to show up with their bags. You know, they're like, on the plane, we come up, show up for Media Day, talk for 10 minutes, do a million parties, do a million engagements, play the game, I'm out of here. I gotta go do 3 days at Turks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the way to incentivize them.
No vacation time.
We actually sick. We're like, holy crap, guys, like, we gotta go back to work like on Tuesday if we lose this game. Like, don't you want to like go on your trip with your family? Man, that would get them to play hard, I think.
At the end, instead of like confetti coming down, it's just boarding passes. Find yours.
We line up. Yeah, we line up like all the private jets. Like at the nearest airport, like we get live shots of them.
Fans are waving them. Have fun.
I'm telling you something there. But, again, let's hear from you guys. Do you like the idea here of the mini tournament? Some other news here. Hubie Brown's long, illustrious career will come to an end sometime this season. That's from ESPN president Burke Magnus. He revealed this on SI Media with Jimmy Traina this past week. Quote, "We are going to give Hubie one last shot on a game." This is what Magnus said on that podcast. "He deserves that. We think the world of him. I think it's absolutely remarkable the level he still calls games at age 90 plus." Hubie Brown is 91 years old.
Yeah.
He's been in professional basketball since like 1958. He's worked at ESPN since the last time the Wolves won in Canada, 2004. So, I mean, look, this is cool. Can't wait for this. They should make a big deal out of it whenever he does call his last game.
Yeah, it'll be must-watch TV. I didn't realize that there had been so much tragedy in Hubie Brown's life basically since the playoffs ended last year. A couple of deaths in the family, which has him taking time off. And, it feels like they're just kind of figuring out which will be the right game.
Yep.
And probably exactly how they're going to honor him, because it'll be really cool to see. Like, imagine the archive of footage they can find with Hubie Brown stuff, like him coaching way back in the day, him doing television work through the 90s, all this kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of things that he's been involved with that'll be cool to see them bring back on his final broadcast.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hadn't realized he hadn't called a game this season, and because of what he was going through, I think his wife passed in June, and then his son, unfortunately, passed a couple weeks ago, who was only 58 or something like that. So that's unfortunate. So sending our best to Hubie, but that will be a cool moment whenever he gets that chance to call his last game. All right, that's the news. Let's pivot to today's big topic on the drop. 1 month in to the 24-25 NBA season. Got some questions for you, TK. Play along in the stream team right now. Hit the like button, subscribe while you're at it. First question is, what's just been the biggest surprise to you from the season so far?
Really the biggest surprise for me, I would say, is that Cleveland is this good.
Yep.
I had them over. I had Kenny Atkinson, coach of the year. Nobody expected him to start 15-0.
No.
Incredible stuff, but we've talked about the Cavs a lot, so I'm going to talk about a couple of teams that we rarely bring up, the Warriors and the Lakers. I'm kidding, but I actually am a little surprised by how well they're both playing. I think they're both exceeding expectations. Prior to the season, both of their over-unders were 43.5. I went over thinking they would win 44 games.
Yeah.
Right now, the Warriors are playing a 64-win pace. The Lakers, after the loss last night, a 55-win pace. And I think it's been a good season for both of them. The Lakers are 4th in offense, 24th in defense. Looks weird. The Warriors, title contending stats, you have to say.
Yeah.
6th in offense, 4th in defense. They're both going to be tested a little bit here. I think the Warriors have already passed one of their tests. They played really well when Steph Curry went out with an ankle injury. I think they went 3-0 that week, but no DeAnthony Melton for the rest of the season. He's having ACL surgery, which is a big loss for the Warriors, but they've been touting their depth the entirety of the season. They were high on Brandon Pajemski coming into the year. You would have thought he was going to be the starting 2 anyways. We'll see if he's able to pick it up. The Lakers' test is that their schedule is going to be getting tougher. I think they've had the 23rd hardest schedule so far this season per Basketball Reference. Their winning streak was mostly against teams that weren't that great. We saw what happened against the Magic last night. They are going to have to play some tougher games, and their defense just isn't able to get stops right now, and the personnel outside of Anthony Davis is maybe not ideal to get stops, but they are good enough on offense, and it'll be interesting to see if they can get their defense more to a level that makes you think they could make some noise in the playoffs. But I've been impressed with both of these teams. I think it's pretty crazy to look at LeBron's usage being the lowest of his career. This is the first time ever LeBron has really taken a back seat. Like, he's playing Cleveland LeBron. 03-04 Cleveland LeBron. So good stuff from both the Warriors and the Lakers to be at the top of the Western Conference, because to me, I'm like, these are play-in teams. And now, at least top 6, I think, is reasonable for both of them.
Sure, especially the Warriors. I have a little bit more faith right now in them. Just the way, I guess, they're playing and going about it. Like you said, being one of the rare teams. There's not many teams in the league that are top 10, both offensively and defensively, and they are one of those teams. That's a good one. My biggest surprise, I'm just going to go the Eastern Conference looking the way it looks 1 month in. It's still really weird to look at. I think it's one thing when we're like, 8 games in and there's 2 good teams and everybody else is like struggling. It's strange now, 5 weeks basically of basketball, 4 or 5 weeks in, and we have 4 teams in the Eastern Conference with a plus 500 record. It's the Cavs, 16-1, amazing. It's the defending champs in the Boston Celtics, 12-3. The Knicks, are really getting it going. We talked about them yesterday, 9-6. And then the Magic, again, just talked about them. Franz doing a great job keeping them afloat with the Paolo injury. They're 10-7. But after that, there's only one other team that has like a plus difference, and that's the Heat at plus 0.8. They're 6-7. Then it's the Hawks 7-9, the Pistons 7-10, the Nets 6-9, the Hornets 6-9, the Pacers 6-9, the Bucks 6-9.
Nice.
That's a lot of nices. And then the Bulls 6-10, and then it's the Raps who are getting close to a pizza party. That's 2 wins in a row. And then the Wizards and Sixers. Like, that is really weird, man.
It's bad.
It is crazy bad. And I can't believe it's a real thing that, like, I can't believe right now, like, the Hawks would be in the playoffs. Like, in the playoffs, not even a play-in. They would be in if it started today.
There's going to be a play-in tournament.
Yeah.
They're still going to have it, even though the 9th and 10th seeds are going to be far below 500.
Yeah, at this point, they have to be, right?
Even the 8th seed might be below 500. It's reasable that both 7 and 8 in the Eastern Conference make the playoffs with under 500.
With sub 500 records.
That would be despicable.
That would be pretty gross.
Be disgusting. But yeah, it's been bad. And I mean, like, who do you think should be up higher in the standings? Indiana, I think, has been a disappointment early in the season.
Yeah, especially because coming into the season, we thought of the Magic, the Cavs, and the Pacers, like, who will be those, or will all three of those teams, like, bump themselves up into the upper echelon with your sort of Celtics, and we thought the Sixers and Bucks, but the Pacers are the team sort of, hey, wait for us, to the Cavs and Magic, it feels right now.
Yeah. It definitely feels like that, but the Bucks should be higher. And then, I mean, the Sixers they've been the biggest disappointment of the season, but they should still have more than 2 wins.
Yes, they should.
2 and
Did you
12.
see that Joel Embiid wants to find out who the leak is?
Uh-oh. What if he does, man?
Imagine he sits everybody down, like interrogates them.
It's somebody that he plays with or is coached by.
Yeah.
So what happens when he finds out?
That's a great question. Great question. Yeah, it's not good. They need a win tonight. That team needs to win tonight against the Brooklyn Nets in a cup game too. All right, next question here. What's been the most underrated story to date?
Well, I'm glad you kind of just barely glossed over them, but we're not talking at all about how bad the Heat are. They have been brutal to start the season. Jimmy Butler putting up a 17-5-5.
Ugh.
Bam Adebayo 16-10-4. I don't think we've mentioned Jaime Jaquez. He's been injured for the past couple of games. Terry Rozier, same thing.
He's been bad.
He's under 40% from the field. Basically, Tyler Hero is playing above expectations, and everybody else is below expectations. The Heat are 15th in offense, 12th in defense. You said their point differential is what, 0.8? They are the definition of a mid-team right now. I thought they were going to be better. You know, Jimmy Butler came to media day, normal hair, locked in. He's dyeing his hair now, Skeets.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can't be good. He had blonde hair. He had like a red front hair. Unlocked right now. He did have a nice game, a 30-point game against the Sixers, right? But that's kind of just kicking somebody when they're down, I felt like. But the Heat, they don't look good. They look like maybe the league has passed them by a little bit here, because if Jimmy Butler is going to be an 18-point-per-game guy, it ain't going to work. You need him to be at least over 20, probably closer to 24 with the playmaking as well. And Bam has just not found his shot. People told me he was going to be a three-point shooter. I don't think it's really going to happen, even though he's shooting 31%, which is probably okay for him. But the range isn't there. You know, people aren't scared of him. He doesn't take a ton of them. Just not a lot of offense on that side, and the defense hasn't been good enough to make up for it.
Yeah, I guess they could be, or should be, maybe I put it like this, 7-6 if Spoelstra doesn't call that timeout. They don't have.
Sure.
So they would have a winning record, but I'm with you. It's like it hasn't been good. Their star players have not played up to their capabilities. Yeah, Hero's like the only positive we've ever really talked about with the Miami Heat this year. He's been great. Like the stats are amazing. We had him like in an all-star conversation. We were doing that last week. But everyone else across the board, it's flat. You do wonder, like, is that a team that would make a move? Like, would they really pivot here? I mean, I guess it would probably be Jimmy Butler. I would assume would be the big move you would do. You could see a team obviously convincing themselves, oh, man, we get Jimmy in here. That takes us to the next level. If we can, tap into some old Jimmy, and then whatever you would get back from him. But maybe I'm looking ahead too much for them.
Yeah, we'll see.
My underrated story, you already talked about them, so I don't need to talk about them long. I maybe this is just me speaking for myself here. I feel like the Warriors are an underrated story. And I think, again, it's like, I think there's like a Warriors dynasty hangover. You know, like we had talked about them for so long, and then one of their core pieces moves in Clay, and it's like, okay, you know, we can talk about these other teams. We can worry about these other teams. And maybe it's because they had some down years there as well. I'm guilty of that. But yeah, 11-3, top in the West. You said it, perfect without Steph. That was amazing. Playing strong defense, even when Draymond Green is off the floor. That's pretty incredible. And then the biggest surprise, and I saw Schumann writing about this, and Howard Beck, the fact that they're playing like 12 or 13 guys. I mean, it was really 13 guys before the DeAnthony Melton news. They're playing their entire roster like minutes, and everybody contributing. And Kerr is telling Howard Beck, like, this strength in numbers philosophy, it's like comes from Phil Jackson. Quote, he was a guy who really understood the power of each and every player on the roster and how unifying it is when everyone gets a chance. Now, Phil Jackson wasn't playing 13 guys. So Kerr is just taking it to like an unbelievable next level because, you know, Curry all the way down to Gary Payton, like they're all averaging, you know, between 29 and 11 minutes per game. And it's working. I don't know if you can do it for an entire season. I don't know what happens when you get into a playoff series. Like, can you continue to do that? It usually goes against everything we talk about. It's like, no, you got to find your 8, maybe even 7 best guys. But Kerr, I mean, he might have to be like Coach of the Year frontrunner right now if we did that award because of just how he's like managing this roster and how well they've been on both sides of the ball.
Well, it's Steve Kerr or Steve Kerr acolyte Kenny Atkinson are the Coach of the Year right now.
Yes, I guess that would be Kenny.
He's the front runner, I think. But everybody under 30 minutes a game, that's crazy, including Steph Curry because, maybe Phil Jackson was talking about strength in numbers back then, but Michael Jordan was playing 40 minutes a game. You know? And that will be the key for the Warriors come playoff time. Lindy Waters isn't going to be getting 15 minutes a game in the playoffs. Steph Curry will be playing 40 minutes a game. We'll figure out who can actually stay on the court, and that will be matchup dependent, I think. But the Warriors have figured things out. It does feel like saying goodbye to Klay Thompson. You know, they were 6th in the Western Conference the year after they won the title in 22. They were 10th in the Western Conference last year. But now that they're good again, you kind of do think, oh, it's just the same old Warriors.
Yeah.
Steph and Draymond are the same old guys, but everything else has changed around them, and it looks great.
Yeah, and again, I think I'm guilty of sort of just like not thinking about them enough and maybe need to lock in a little bit more into some of their action. All right, next question here. This is a fun one. 1 month in, MVP, baby.
Not too early.
Never too early.
Never too early.
Who you got at the table, man? Who's sitting at the MVP table?
Here's why it maybe is too early, Skeets, because the best player in the league by far is Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
He is the MVP frontrunner, I think.
Despite missing some games here.
And that's why it's too early, because we've played 4 weeks of basketball and he's missed a week. So he's actually not on my list.
Yeah, he's not on the MVP
Steph Curry is not on my list. He missed a week as well. So early in the season, we just got a 4-top. Just a double date here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Anthony Davis. I crossed Davis off last night.
Damn. He had a monster game, though.
Not in my world.
Oh, damn.
Not in my world. They gave him MVP chance, and he missed the free throws. You're out of here. Okay. So it comes down to Tatum, Mitchell, and SGA. I'm giving the nod to Jason Tatum. He's top 3 in the league in scoring, and in the biggest game in the NBA so far this season, Cavaliers at Celtics, he was the best player on the court.
That's fair.
He's my MVP.
But you're saying they're at the table in the MVP restaurant, but Jokic is just running late. He's coming. It is his. I mean, Jokic's numbers: 30, 14, 12, 2 and 1, shooting splits of 56, 56, and 84.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's missed a couple games here, and Nuggets got a win or two in there, so that helps. But yeah, I think you got the right guys. You listed all the right guys. I think most people, even despite him missing games, would say, well, yeah, it's still Jokic.
Oh, yeah,
he's going to win his 4th. But Tatum, for sure, making a hell of a case. SGA is funny because it's like his numbers are still elite. His team is awesome. But there's not the buzz. I mean, I know it's super early, but there's not the buzz that there was even last year where he comes runner-up.
He needs like a string of 40 and 35-point games, because right now it's everything else with the Thunder. Look at how great Chet Holmgren is playing to start the season. He goes down with injury. Look at how great Jalen Williams is playing. Yeah. Look at these additions. Isaiah Hartenstein just came back. Alex Caruso, it looks like he's injured, then he gets up and sets a bone-crunching screen. Everything else besides Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he's been there for a while. We know what he's all about, and he's pretty consistent. Like, he's similar to Tatum in some ways, where you're like, they do have these humongous games, but the most valuable thing about them is that you can count on them for 30, like every single night. They're going to do it most nights, you know. So the steadiness maybe doesn't wow people, but he's definitely in the mix, I think.
And then I gotta at least include his name here. Despite being on a team that's 6-9, the numbers Giannis is putting up, I mean, it's 32 points per game, it's 12 boards, it's 6 assists. It's half a steal. It's over a block or it's almost a block and a half. It's pretty elite. Obviously, high shooting percentages there at the rim. It's amazing he's on NBA Basketball Reference's MVP award tracker, despite his team being 6-9. He's still in the top 10. They have him there. And Karl Anthony Towns, 5th on this list. Now Jokic is off because of the injuries recently, but yeah. Catmandu in there. Top 5. Great numbers. I mean, I believe he should be starting the All-Star game for the Eastern Conference. I don't even know if we're doing that anymore. He should be starting the game for one of the squads.
He should be the captain of one of the 4 squads.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just having a really great offensive year for the Knicks. But I think you named the right guys. Okay, well, you said Jalen Williams. I assume he's one of the front runners for most improved player 1 month in. Is that correct?
Absolutely. He fits the trend of guy who was very good, might be making his first All-Star team, and has definitely made a leap to All-Star caliber.
Yeah.
He is in the mix. It's the exact same case on the other side for Franz Wagner, who is my pick just because of the way he's scaled up with Paolo Banchero going down with injury. Could have been scary times for the Magic, and it was right away, like we said. But he's figured it out. The question will be, when Paolo comes back, how do they get this out of Paolo and Franz at the same time? In a synergistic way, not like your turn, my turn.
Yes.
I think they'll be able to figure it out, but it's going to be interesting to see how they figure it out. So, yeah, I mean, Jalen Williams, Franz Wagner, kind of in a similar spot with regards to their career and making the leap to be in the mix for an all-star selection. I would personally go Franz right now, but maybe I'm caught in the moment. Jalen Williams is sweet, too.
I would bet the house on one of those guys winning this award, though.
Yes.
At the end of the year. I mean, you know, barring injuries. And I'm talking about J-Dub, Jalen Williams, or Franz Wagner. I went and checked BetMGM just to see the odds. Jalen Williams, he leads the way, plus 400. Jalen Johnson's still in the mix. You know, I mean, has improved. There's no doubt. But I think he's not going to make an all-star team. He's going to be a little bit behind these guys, at least in his trajectory. He's plus 650. Franz Wagner, plus 700. So that's tasty right now. LaMelo Ball, plus 1,000. Thought that was weird. I mean,
he was hurt.
The guy was an all-star and then, got hurt. So that's a strange one. Dyson Daniels, plus 1,000, showing a little love for defense there. Great barrier thief. And then RJ Barrett. He has to be included in this short list of most improved players. He's leveled up as a lead guy, especially when Scottie was out. You know, the record is going to hurt him. Will he make an all-star team? I don't think so. I think he'll get some consideration, but he's plus 1,100. But I like the J-Dubber or Franz. And then, hey, where's Norm? Where's Storm and Norman? I know there'll be a weird version for most improved the way they've gone, but could Norman Powell make an all-star team? Could the coaches pick a Norm?
Which one?
Which of the 4
teams do you think he's going to make?
It could be an injury replacement. I could see that.
He could have won this award back in 1998, I think.
Oh, like when they used to do
back
it
when
that
they gave
way.
it to improved players instead of young players who are just progressing through their career.
Facts.
Christian Brown is another guy who I think deserves mention as well. Went from 7 points a game to 16 points a game. They're not missing KCP. They could have had them both. That's the weird thing. They could have just kept KCP if they wanted to pay. But Christian Brown has at least replaced him.
Yep. Okay. And then the final one here, 1 month in, instead of doing Rookie of the Year, because it is still wide open, thought it'd be fun if you gave us your all-rookie team after 1 month of basketball. So you got the squad for us.
Yeah. I got the squad for us. I broke it down into guards, forwards, and centers so we can have a little discussion. Okay. I think the first guard spot's pretty easy. Jared McCain scored 20 in 7 straight games. He's averaging 16 points a game. That's the most of any rookie. Couple of boards, 3 assists. It's all starter now. Like, he's going to be starting next to Maxey if they're able to ever get the entire team healthy. He's good.
You imagine that Jared McCain had not played as well as he had for the Sixers this year? Like, again, that is the one bright spot. I mean, Yabusele's been good. Yeah, but at least we got him. At least Morey found another maybe Maxey-like guy late in the draft. I mean, the team's bad, but at least he's good. Okay, so he's in there. Yeah,
he's in there. My second guard, I'm going with Bub Carrington. 10 points a game, 4 boards, 5 assists. For the second guard spot, it basically comes down to Bub and Stephon Castle, who's putting up pretty similar stats. Bub's a little more offensively tilted. I just like his game a little bit more. He's got good feel.
Yeah.
He's got more of an opportunity too, I think, being one of the primary ball handlers for the Wizards. So, Bub, you're my second guard, Bub.
Bub just over Castle, you said.
Bub over Castle. Yeah.
I mean, I think
Close,
that'll probably change in a couple weeks if Castle keeps getting the opportunity that he's getting.
He's been playing
more.
well.
He's been playing very well, but Bub, Carlton
Carrington.
Yeah, it's a good.
AKA Bub.
It's good to go with Bub.
Bub Carrington. That's a cool
That's a great name.
Yeah.
He looks cool too.
And, the Wizards, they had a sweet 1 week against the Hawks. And
Are those the only wins?
Back-to-back wins. Yeah, against the Hawks. They lost every other game.
That's so classic.
Look, Kuzma
Atlanta.
was not
It's
playing
amazing.
then.
Oh, well, that's probably for the better.
What do you mean?
You're saying Kuzma wasn't playing in their wins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I said what I
They brought it
said.
back and they said, we're keeping our pick. We're getting a good pick,
Oh,
okay?
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Kuzma, he's a tank commander. He said, I don't want to go to the Mavericks. There's no way they'll make the finals. Let me stay here. All right, and forwards for our all-rookie team. First forward, easy as well. Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
Got to be the guy. 11 points a game. He does other stuff, but not very much of it. But he's making 46% of his threes.
Wow.
Guy's a knockdown shooter. He's starting right now as well, and the Lakers aren't playing defense, but JJ doesn't care right now. I heard on the broadcast last night that he wants to draw up a play for Dalton Connect after every timeout.
Hey. Okay. I mean, that's what JJ probably wished he had. Back in the day.
Exactly.
And probably he did get a lot of them, I guess, I assume.
Yeah, he was probably like, why are they always going to Dwight Howard? But they don't always go to Dalton. But he's been good. He's been exactly what the Lakers were hoping he would be when they drafted him. And it's nice that he fell to 17. He's an older guy.
I was gonna say
they needed an older guy.
Yeah. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why he fell so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do believe.
It's just like, okay, he's one of these old guys, and some of these teams that are like still either like we're 2 or 3 years away from being good. Like, we want to maybe take a project that could have a higher ceiling than maybe don't connect well. But then I think some teams, they overthink this at times. Like, if the guy's good, the guy's good.
Sure.
What's wrong with a guy that's a knockdown 3-point shooter at his size? I mean, you compared him to Klay Thompson, at least in that one game, the way he went about it was like not dribbling and having a beautiful looking shot. Maybe these teams like do overthink it, but that's why he slipped. He's just an old dude.
He's just
at
an
24 or
24-year-old man.
Yeah.
He wasn't even born when the first Gladiator came out.
He's not 24. He's 23, but he's got a birthday coming up in April.
Coming up in April. Just a quick 5 months away.
That's right.
23 and a half, we'll call him. Second forward, Jalen Wells.
Yeah, okay.
For me, 12 points a game, 3 rebounds, and an assist. He's played the second most minutes of any rookie this season. Zachary Ricochet is my third place forward, and they're very similar players.
Yep.
But Jalen Wells has been just like 4% better.
Yep.
Everywhere. Shooting, defending, rebounding. His numbers are just a little bit better than Ricochet. And Jalen Wells, he's solid. He's just a classic Grizzlies draft find.
I like having him in there on the all-rookie team, at least right now. And Ricochet, no one's panicking. I think he looks like he's going to be a really solid player. But, yeah, the shot's got to come around. I don't love him shooting below 70% at the free throw line.
Weird.
Because that can sometimes be, telling of a guy. But then you watch him, you're like, no, he's going to shoot better than 38% from the floor, 25% from three. It's bad. It's bad, especially for a number one pick. Though lucky for him, it feels like no one cares all that much in that really bad draft class. And it was like, he's in Atlanta. I think he gets overlooked here. Like, if he's in a different city, I think it'd be like people would be freaking out. But I don't know. There just doesn't seem like, oh God, come on, man. Come on, raise your game. It's like people are gonna give him time, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's had enough flashes that I think
yes.
The Hawks and Hawks fans are probably satisfied. You're like, oh, he hits the glass sometimes.
Yes.
He can shoot sometimes.
Yes.
You hope it becomes more consistent,
Yeah.
but he's a young boy.
He's a young boy.
And he just had to figure out, wait, there's a lot of athletic guys over here.
Yeah, that's right.
That was an awesome quote.
Yeah.
I used to be the most athletic guy in France. I came over here, I'm just a dude.
I mean,
yeah.
a lot of truth to that,
That's very
man.
true.
You're playing in the most athletic league in the world. So I can imagine when you were 6'8" and 19 years old in France, just kicking ass, but not here. And yeah, he's the opposite of Dalton Connect. He's not even 20 yet, so he's super young.
Our center, I thought, was kind of the hardest place to pick because there's been 3 good centers from this rookie class. Zach Edey is who I'm going with.
Yeah.
Even though he's hurt right now, I think Klingon is maybe coming for his spot. And then Yves Missi as well for the Pelicans. He started for Daniel Tice basically right away. He was great. I remember seeing him play against the Bulls in their first game. He looked like a difference maker then. the Pelicans are like ridiculously banged up.
Yep.
But that's not the only reason he's starting. I think he becomes their guy as time goes on. But Edey right now, 11 points per game, 7 boards. He's like double-digit scorer every single night he goes out there, just with the size. So I have him just a hair ahead of Klingon. But Klingon has looked good. Specifically on the defensive end, he doesn't seem to have as much of a polished offensive game as Zach Edey. You know, Edey's been a go-to scorer for a long time when he was playing in college. But the center class has been pretty solid. Edey, Klingon, Misi. Alex Sarr, I guess, is not technically a center, but he's a really good shot blocker, a good athlete. I don't know how he's going to be as an offensive player going forward, but the big guys have showed up pretty well, I think, from this draft class.
Yeah, I think I expected maybe a more opportunity because he's barely played. Khalil Ware. With the Heat, I thought he was going to play. He's played like 50 minutes. I mean, barely played at all. Garbage time stuff. So, yeah, I thought we'd get more of him. Who's been the most disappointing to you? And maybe it's because of they're not getting an opportunity, or when they do, they haven't impressed you. I mean, you can answer it if you want to. Who's been the worst from the lottery of the 2024 draft?
I think Cody Williams from the Jazz. I was a little skeptical of him coming in. I was like, are you just getting drafted because Jalen Williams is your brother? And he was a late bloomer? Because if Cody Williams ends up being a late bloomer,
he went 10th,
that would be
he?
good.
Jeez.
He's shooting 28% from the field, 20 from 3. He's just a skinny guy.
Yeah.
He's so
and he's
skinny.
played a little bit there in Utah. They're playing their young
almost
guys.
300 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How you feel about Buzelis?
Well, I like Buzelis still. And it makes me sad every time Dalen Terry plays over this guy. What's the point, man?
Yeah, right.
Like, okay, so what? We're going to build up Dalen Terry to be a good enough 7th man when you could at least maybe get a starter out of Buzelis? That doesn't make sense to me. But I like him when he's on the court.
Okay. Yeah. There it is. The all-rookie team from TK. Agree, disagree? Who do you miss? Who you want more love for? Let us know there in the stream team. Let us know in the YouTube comments or tweet at us at NoDunksInc. All right. Pick 'em. I got a nice victory last night. I was forced into picking the Magic. That might be the strategy when it comes to pick 'em. If everyone else is on one side, just go the other side. So I had the Magic to cover. They obviously won the game. I wish you could get bonus points for that, but we don't. But that was huge in the standings because I'm 7-6 in November. Trey and Esh are 6-7. And Tass is, he's still within striking distance for everyone. He's 8-5 because he took the L as well. Tonight's game, though. Kings Clippers. Small line. Sacramento in the Intuit Dome. Going to be taken on the wall. I think Sabonis is playing.
Okay.
I think DeRozan's playing. I know they practice. So don't quote me on that, but I believe they're going to be back. And maybe that's a reason why a lot of us are taking Sacramento to win by 3 or more. Myself, Tass, and Trey Kirby. Any reasoning for this one, TK?
I'm just trying to get a game on Ash, to be honest with you. I saw that we had tied records, so I was like, when it feels like a toss-up, I'll roll the dice.
All right.
Because I would like to see some action.
And I think, Ash, I don't think you, were forced by any means to take the Clips here. I saw you in the dock early this morning. It looked like you took an LAC.
Yeah, I don't even have a method right now. I started off the month pretty well. And then I've just went downhill. I think I started 5-1.
Yeah, you were.
And look at me now, 6-7.
You're tied for last right now. And for those that don't know, a giant. I mean, we're talking giant Costco pumpkin pie is on the line here. The loser. Now that may sound like a reward to some of you, and maybe it will be for a couple bites, but not when you got to take down the whole thing. And as long as it takes. Now, would it be cool if someone could do it in the span of one show? Yeah. It'd be amazing. I don't think it's I guess it's possible, but nobody here's a Joey Chestnut, man.
We got no chestnuts here.
Yeah.
Here's the other tough part is that this pick 'em payoff will start, I'm assuming, December 2nd.
It will.
Right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's quite likely you're just eating pumpkin pie leftovers the whole weekend before this.
That's a great point. You might be Thanksgivinged out. Yeah. So, yeah, if you got to do it for the show, okay, kudos to you. But if not, that thing's got to go. So you got to keep coming in here or be here. Like in Esh's case, he's got to drive in every day to eat a pumpkin pie. Hey, honey, what are you doing at work today? I got to go eat a giant Costco pumpkin pie. So anyway, that'll be fun. We think it'll be a punishment. I'll be honest. I really don't want to lose this month. I don't like pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing a lot of food. I'm one of those people. You know what I mean? I don't like.
You don't like seeing a lot.
Oh, I hate like I'm a go for a second plate guy than I am a load my plate up at Thanksgiving type of guy.
Yeah, same.
I just don't like it.
And I don't like pumpkin pie, so I'm right there with you.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm right there with you.
Better hope the Clips win tonight.
All right,
Yeah.
you guys want me at Tank Fest? I love pumpkin pie. I'm kind of like, man, hopefully the Clippers win tonight. Hopefully Ash gets a game up on me. Maybe I'll be singing a different tune later.
Yeah.
I was excited to wear a pickle costume once upon a time.
Yeah, and then you had to wear that for a week. Yeah, you weren't happy by Friday. I'll tell you that. You weren't happy by the second day.
Yeah, the second day was the worst.
All right, this is the drop. So before we go, some rapid fire fun. There's only 3 of us, so I'll ask the questions and I'll answer along with you guys. First one, LeBron James says he's taking a break from social media. This is Zero Dark 30 here, coming early this season. The NBA's all-time leading scorer and Lakers star posted on X and Instagram on Wednesday to announce, hey, I'm stepping away from my pages. All right.
Stepping away from the pages.
I want to know, what's something you would like to take a break from? Trey.
Leaf blowing.
Oh my God, that's my answer.
We've become our own worst enemies, Skeets. I used to wonder how is it possible that people are leaf blowing every day? But if you want to stay on top of it, man, you gotta leaf blow every day. They used to have those shirts, basketball never stops, leaf blowing never stops.
Oh,
it's the most deflating thing. It takes so long to get the leaves done that by the time you're done, you turn around, you're like, they fell from the tree again, didn't they?
Now you're doing your whole yard?
I'm basically just a backyard blower.
Wow. Yeah. I'm a blow them off the porch because I don't want them
gotta blow them off the
stain in the porch. I got sort of a light colored porch. It's like I'm with you. That's my answer. I can't believe you also went with that.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. And look, we live in Atlanta. It's a city of trees. It's a forest city. There's a lot of leaves. Like look at the studio right now.
No, I'm seeing these.
I wish you had a leaf blower right now. We should do that.
The noise pollution.
Yeah, I know. I'll sometimes, because I feel bad, I'll just go straight broom.
Broom.
Yeah,
Off the porch.
I don't want to. Sometimes I God, it's a little too early, maybe for the leaf blower.
Yeah.
Courteous of my neighbors, but that sucks too, especially if they're wet a little bit. It's impossible.
It's impossible. They're too heavy.
Okay, so that's my answer. Ash, what's your answer? What's something you'd like to take a break from?
Laundry. I got 4 kids.
Got so many kids, man.
Dude, 4 kids, and me and Courtney, there's so much laundry always. And you do a little bit of it, or you do it and you're like, yeah, I'm knocked out. A day later,
it doesn't matter.
4 more baskets. You're just like,
how?
Yeah, I'm yelling at the boys all the time. I'm like, they wear uniforms to school, right? So they should only have a thing a day. No, there's like 30 clothes in their baskets in a day. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing in there?
How many outfits are you wearing?
Right.
I believe that, and I don't have kids. And I just think about the amount of laundry me and my wife, Nora, go through. And then I'm like, it seems like a lot. Like, it seems like someone is always doing laundry. When you consider especially like the blankets for the dog to get on the couch or the bed and all that, it's like we're always doing laundry. And I can't imagine then having 2 to 4 more humans.
It's ridiculous.
No matter the size of their clothes, they're still gotta do
Sometimes the size is the problem because you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fill up this laundry basket. I'll just let it go. But then you realize, wait a second, I put 800 items in there because they're all this big. They don't take up that much room.
Do you have a big washer and dryer at least, Ash?
I mean, I don't know. They're normal size. I don't know what they're big.
Classic.
Well, are they front loaders or top loaders?
Top loaders.
Okay, those are generally bigger.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty big. And we're doing laundry last night. We're doing laundry this morning. I'm waking the boys up to go to school. I'm putting more laundry in before I come up here.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to time laundry, right? Because it's always it's not done in 10 minutes. So you gotta worry about it. Then you can't let I'm pretty hardcore about this. I don't like letting wet laundry that's been washed even sit in the washing machine. It's a little stinky.
Yeah.
You can leave it for a little bit, but not overnight. No way. No. So, but sometimes you forget too.
Yep.
Now I gotta just wash that again.
Either you knock it all out at once, which is the problem, or you're doing laundry literally every day.
All the time.
And it's like, I don't know which one's better. They both suck.
Yeah. I don't know which one's better.
Kwame Brown had it right, man. Just buy new clothes. Wear your clothes, throw them in the corner, buy new ones.
I mean, Kwame Brown, I'm sure, made a lot of money.
Yeah, he seems to have it all figured out.
Yeah, maybe don't follow Kwame Brown advice. All right, next one here. As discussed on yesterday's pod, Disney and ESPN are going to air a Mickey Mouse alt cast for the Knicks Spurs on Christmas Day. We're talking Mickey. We're talking Minnie. We're talking Donald Duck. We're talking Pluto. Oh. We're talking Goofy eating a bunch of churros. we think. It's going to be awesome. I want to know, though, what other intellectual property would you like to see get an alt NBA broadcast?
I told Laura and the girls about the Mickey takeover. They were fascinated. Tell me more.
Yeah.
If they were fired up, I was like, okay, great call.
I had people texting. Great and Gordian texted me. Kids are hyped for this.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, this does work, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be Wemby, too. Like, cartoonish shape.
We still don't really know.
Good point. We don't know what's happening. I would like to see the Austin Powers Shagadelic Basketball Spectacular, baby.
That sounds good. Yeah, baby.
Remember in the first one, they had all those cut scenes that were just like, it was like Austin Powers played in the 60s band, and it was just like, wee, wee, wee.
Oh, yeah.
Like these cool moves.
Yeah.
You'd have that as like transitions in between whatever, like usually that's Austin popping up.
Like, make the players do them, though.
Make the players do them. That'd be cool. Like, you got Mike Myers playing Austin and Dr. Evil. Do they bring back Fat Bastard? I don't know.
Oh, wow. Can you even have Fat Bastard in
today's day and age? I doubt it. But I would love to see what they do.
Yeah. Okay. Austin Powers. What about you, Esh?
I just went easy. I'm just like, we got 2 Space Jam movies. Why don't we just throw Looney Tunes back in there?
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
It's because you know how the guys are down the street, like the WB with everything. Like, they're probably just like, I don't care. I don't know.
Wow, yeah. Now that you say that, like, they need to do this before they lose the rights here.
This would have been the time.
This would have been the time.
But, you know, Disney wins again. You know?
Man. Wow. Okay. Good one. I went with Dune characters. Let's get the Dune world into an alt cast.
The Harkonnens?
That's right. Well, funny you say that. Lowry Harkonnen, Paul George Atreides, Tim Duncan Idaho, or Duncan Robinson Idaho if you want to keep it
Duncan Idaho's a funny.
Yeah, I know. And Nora suggested this. This could be cool because players could use the voice.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
The creepy, what are they called? Benny Gesserit or whatever?
Yeah, Gesserit.
Yeah, Gesserit. Yeah, to use the voice on commanding people what to do. So.
Set a screen!
Dune's out right now. I started up the series. It was okay. Like, there's a new
there's an HBO series.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it
I guess
yet.
I'm into it enough. Yeah. You know, it's fine. It's like 10,000 years prior to the movies.
Their plans are made in centuries.
That's right. All right, good answers there. Final one. Derek White starred in another Samuel Adams commercial released last week, but this one came with a special announcement. He's launching his own beer. There it is for everybody on YouTube. The Celtic Stand-O Guard has partnered with Sam Adams to create the Derek White Ale. I want to know, guys, another NBA player beer combo that you would like to see.
A New York brewery should make an IPA Nunobi.
Whoa. Okay, instead of OG IP.
Yeah, IPA Nunobi.
That's not bad.
I was actually happy when I
some hipster brewery is definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Tastes good.
Yeah, him in commercials would be awesome. I think OG Anunoby drinks. Can't picture him drinking for some reason.
I don't know.
I can't really picture a lot of NBA guys drinking, but
Larry Bird, yeah.
Well, yeah, Larry Bird, beer. Yeah, I guess all these guys drink wine
players,
and stuff now too. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Beer, makes them all bloated. That's good. Ash, what do you got?
I got 3 bad ones.
Good. Hit me.
LeBron Jameson, like, I don't think Jameson is a beer, but
oh, okay, alcohol.
Yeah. Brandon Miller Light.
Oh, yeah.
Simple.
I mean, they basically did the Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that is true, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Miller, though, current.
And then instead of Sam Adams, we just got Steve Adams.
Steve Adams.
I mean, it can't be Cole Steve Adams, you know?
Him in a tricorn cap.
Yeah, if he played on Boston, they probably would have done that for sure. I like it. I thought we would get some sort of NBA puns there, but I pivoted. I went a different direction. Bell's Brewery, which is a brand, I want to say in Michigan. They do a Christmas ale that's apparently pretty good. I just want Joe Jingles. Not Joe Ingles, but Joe Jingles to be involved in a Christmas ale.
Okay.
And he looks like a guy that drinks beer. To me.
Joe Ingles?
Yeah.
He's at a Foster's.
Yeah, he's at a VB. So Joe Ingles, Joe Jingles, Christmas ale from Bell's Brewery. You got something from the stream team?
That's some funny ones.
Okay.
Devin says instead of Shiner Bach, Shiner Block with Wemby.
That's good.
It's a Texas beer.
That's a Texas beer
as well.
I love that beer. That's a good
And
beer.
I like Jeremy Kai says Bub Carrington's Bubbleizer. Bubbleizer.
Now the problem with like Bub or even Brandon Miller, like these guys aren't even legal age.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They gotta wait a couple years.
So we gotta wait. Great ideas, and that's rapid fire. Dare I say that was the most rapid of the rapid fires? That was pretty quick. Good job, guys. Hopefully this was a classic. You tell us by hitting the like button, by subscribing, by sharing the show, and podcast listeners by leaving us a 5-star rating and review. Before we go, we did this. Was it yesterday that we did it? Breaking Tea suddenly said they're doing like a mystery No Dunks t-shirt sort of discount where shirts were $10. You didn't know which one you were going to get. Hoodies were $25. And a lot of these went quick, guys. We had it up in our Discord. We had it up, I guess we tweeted it and maybe put it up on Blue Sky too. Anyway, point is, I think there's like 10 small No Dunks tees left and they're only $10. So go over to nodunks.com and grab one, nodunks.com and grab one. And there's like 6 pairs of shorts too. Remember we did those like Indiana
All-Star shorts.
All-Star shorts? I think they're awesome looking.
They're good,
cool logo on them. There's a few left and they're super cheap. They're $12. Like giving this stuff away. So if you're of the smaller stature or want a gift for the holiday of someone you know that might fit a small shirt or maybe some smaller shorts, go take advantage. Go to nodunks.com.
I know a guy.
Me?
Yeah.
Shorts, yes. Shirts, no. I'm bulked up.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's like especially playing basketball. Yeah. I gotta wear a medium now.
Yeah. Trey Man style.
That's right. Yeah, it's coming back. You're right. How was hoops last night? I missed out on it.
That was good.
Yeah?
It was a nice night of basketball that we had together.
You did say one game in particular was very bad, though.
Yeah, we play up to 7 or 7 minutes. This one went to time 2-0. 2 points to 0.
Was now 2-0. We played 2s and 1s, too.
2s and 1s.
Did somebody get a 2 or was it 2 baskets?
I think it was 2-2. Or 2 1s.
2 1s.
2 1s, yeah.
Okay, wow.
Not great.
And you were on the winning side or the losing side?
Yeah.
You were on the losing side.
Oh, yes. Wow. I was on one of them.
The offer in the pickup.
Not great. People were calling it a soccer match. It was me that was said it.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully the All-Star game, the new format will be like that. The intensity, the defense being played. Yeah, they just have to call the game at a certain point. Like, nah, you advance 2-0. All right, guys, thanks for joining us here all week long. Tas and JD back on Monday. Esh, thanks for filling in, my man. Not only on these shows, but No Buffs, which we did yesterday. Go check that out. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week for the shortened Thanksgiving week. We'll go Monday through Wednesday with No Dunks and then No Buffs on Thursday. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, Gladiator 2 is out today. Strength and Honor.
We're going tomorrow.
Strength and Honor.
We're going... Oh, man. I looked away.
We bumped it. I thought we were just going to nail it.
We're going to see Gladiator 2 at 10:35 a.m. tomorrow morning. Morning popcorn.
Morning peacorn.
Wow.
That's going to be fun.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 hours long. We're not going to get out of there. You want to wear PJs? Oh, slippers?
Oh, gee.
We'll take photos.
Not Roman sandals. Slippers.
Hey, we'll be entertained. Embrace the weekend, people.